Welcome to the Conquer Risk podcast. Today, I'm OG, Jeff Goodnow. I've got another guest with me, my operations team and resident financial planning guru, Evan Schreiner. Welcome, Evan.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Peachy, now that we've done two intros. That said, the first one was scrapped. Here we are for the second one. And that said, we're here today to bring a little different flavor to the table. You know, we don't often talk a lot about things that Potomac can bring for advisors to use. You know, we talk about simplifying the business and things that we are doing and how we can help people. Well, this falls into that category. And that's one of the things we want to talk about is financial planning, what it is, what the world looks like today, how it's different. You've got some financial planning background. Why don't we hear just a smidge about where you came from and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I've worked with and for a number of advisors, and they all were great advisors, happy clients, which is always great. But there was common pain points when it came to the planning process, whether it be from the data gathering, just starting out, getting statements, hard copy, or getting lost in the encryption software. Once you deliver the plan, you might run out of a binder. That makes it look all nice if you have those 300-page plans. Or if a client just reschedules and the data gets stale. Those seem to be the common themes as far as pain points go in the planning process.
Yeah, well, something that I thought was really cool about the blog post that you just wrote was the fact that the missing piece is the why. And, you know, I think that's a very hard component to discuss if you're printing out a 300-page plan. Right? The why just gets lost. So we want a living, breathing document. And I think the best thing to do for us is probably just jump in and let's talk about some of these specific. We're going to do some screen shares, things like that to show advisors what we now can do for them with the financial planning capabilities that we have with our Union UMA and for those that are using Potomac directly. So fire away. Let's take a look at a quick overview.
Yep. So on this profile page, this is the data gathering page where you can co-browse with the client and fill everything out electronically. As you can see, it has income, expenses, goals, so on and so forth. And it's all pretty straightforward as far as inputting all the information.
All right. And then I know we've got an overview page. And so fire away there.
Yep. So this is your main landing page, so to speak. This gives you a quick look at whatever your goals are. You can see the retirement graph chart. And on the left side, you just have a quick summary of all your accounts as well. So just summarizes everything in one simple page.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny because an overview is supposed to be simple. However, we just talked about a minute ago, plans can be, 80 pages, 100 pages, 300 pages. They get pretty crazy. And I realize that while we live in an electronic world and we're excited about the fact that we can now do all these things electronically, there is an important question that all advisors want to know. Can you still make a PDF or print this bad boy if you needed to?
Yeah, if you like to go hard copy, yep, there is the option to get a printable PDF and fillable PDF if you want to start online or, type everything in. But yep, that option's still available.
Awesome. Well, I know Manish will hate that I asked that question, but look, sometimes we realize you may want to, as an advisor, you may want to save a PDF for the record purposes, right? This is what the snapshot that we shared with the client on this particular date and put it in your record. So that's pretty handy. And of course, once it's a PDF, you can print it. So I figured that'd be good. On that note, what else is there on the overview? I know there's a little bit that I get excited about on the bottom of that. What's next on the list?
Yep. So the next thing that comes up outside of that would be net worth, if you were to scroll down a little bit. And that gives you a nice breakdown of obviously your assets and liabilities. And it can be broken down, in this case, between husband and wife, and then it totals it all on the side there for you as well. So.
Yeah, I get pretty fired up on net worth. I think far too many systems. I mean, I've used 4 different financial planning software packages. And one of the things I like about this, I know we're going to talk about mobile in a little bit, but net worth is a pretty front-facing component here. Net worth to me is my favorite because if there's, just like on investments, maximum drawdown is a number that I want to know. I want to know a client's net worth. And the reason is that to me, it's almost like taking your temperature, right? You know whether the client is improving or not. All the details are in the weeds as far as their goals. But if you know that they have more assets than liabilities and that continues, then you're making strides in the right direction. And that's such an easy number to relay to a client. that I think there's just a lot of value there. So I'm excited that this package has that capability. So speaking of the goals, what do we got in goals, man? Show us the goals.
So as you see on the screen here, they each have, 12 tiles to input client goals. You can see it runs the gamut from retirement all the way to education funding or a home purchase. And again, pretty simple data input. It could be as easy as setting for retirement, clients' ages they want to retire, and then their income or expense requirement. It's easy as that.
Okay, sweet. So how do you keep track of those?
Yeah, so quick page to look at would be the accounts. Again, it gives you a nice overview of all the accounts you either have linked or manually input into the system. And then the little icons to the right tag a goal to that account. It could just be one goal or it could be multiple goals. So you see the palm tree, that's for retirement. The graduation cap, obviously, is going to be for education funding. So it just gives you a quick snapshot of your accounts and the goals tagged to them.
All right, sweet. Well, we know that all clients pick a goal and then they work towards that goal and never, ever, ever change their mind or situation, right? There's never a what if. No what ifs. We don't need to talk about that. No, wait. The reality is, right, there are. So what are we dealing with on the what ifs? What is that for this particular software package?
Yeah, so once you drill down the goals, you can go to the goal results page, and it gives you the graph on what you're proposing and how it would look if you implemented those plans. So if you have the what ifs or the recommendations, in this case, you can change the retirement age to 67, get more aggressive pre-retirement and less aggressive post-retirement, and it shows and illustrates what could potentially happen given those assumptions. So
that's pretty cool. I know there's also, I don't think we're showing it, but there's some Monte Carlo simulation stuff that's in here too. So, again, it's kind of nice to see what, not only the what ifs, but let's run through, 1,000 or 2,500 or whatever the number of scenarios they look at for that purpose. So that's becoming something that's pretty common in these scenarios. So when it's all said and done, right, we've got the client data, we've gathered all that information, we can see an overview, and we can play with the what ifs and the scenarios for that particular client, see whether they're funded. Where do we go from here? I mean, what kinds of reports are there to be able to, for those that want to nerd out on something, those advisors need more. So what more is there in this capability?
Yeah, so beyond the interactive graphs and charts, you have just simple cash flow and balance sheet reports. So the first one is your cash flow. Obviously breaks it down between your inflows and outflows, and then your net cash flow, and it breaks it down between the years and whoever the client's married, it shows husband and wife, so it breaks it out pretty nicely for you. And then the balance, yep. So the balance sheet, similar looking graph or chart rather, it breaks it down between your assets and liabilities, and then again it breaks it down. If you press the plus sign, it drills down a little deeper into the specific accounts. So.
All right, that's great. So once we get to that point, and I know we'll hit mobile here in a second, some of this stuff will appear there, and we'll touch on that. There's more, and this is pretty sweet because right now, we've got it set up to be able to share documents. And, advisors always struggle with that, right? How can we get secure documents back and forth? And so why don't you touch on the document vault and what capabilities there are in that component?
Yeah, so document vault, client has access to upload documents to, the portal. The advisor can upload documents, but as you can see, it has statements, tax forms, trust documents, and the TD Ameritrade statements actually automatically feed in to the document vault, which is obviously really handy. But anything else you may want, powers of attorney, trust documents, they'd all be securely stored in this vault.
Okay. And, one of the things I actually, I know the answer, but I wanted to make sure our advisors knew, sometimes clients want to use this. Once they realize the fact that it's a secure capability, they may want to store other things that they want you to know about, but there's not really action to be taken. So can they start their own folders? Can they create a folder for something else?
Yeah, absolutely. So those folders, they're either there to start, but if you want to create your own subfolder, they have, complete freedom to go ahead and do that. Yeah, for like miscellaneous type items.
I think it's nice to be able to give the client that kind of flexibility. But on that note, so we use obviously Zoom, we use StreamYard, we have a lot of different capabilities to do different things in regards to sharing with clients in this virtual world that we now seem to be living in. Is there any kind of capability for maybe those advisors that aren't doing something like that to be able to share this information in a secure fashion with the client in a virtual space?
Yep. So they have what's called their presentation mode. And say, for example, the client's logged into their portal, you can go ahead and co-browse the client and then start in presentation mode, which is what we're showing right now. So it just gets rid of the search bar at the top and a few of the icons in the upper right. It just makes it a lot cleaner to look at. And also the union logo on the upper left is always beautiful. So.
Yeah, we got to love our union logo. And by the way, a big shout out to Christopher and the marketing team for redoing some of our logo stuff when they redid the website. But anyway, so we've got that in there, and that's a lot cleaner. They don't need to see settings and stuff like that. Yeah. So the presentation mode is pretty slick and clean. And by the way, while we're at it, I'm going to give you a little shout out to Chick-fil-A, the best freaking chicken on this side of the Mississippi. And I know Christopher right now is scratching his head going, no, but you got to do what you got to do. So let's jump in to the mobile app. I get fired up, man. Mobile app is where we all need to be. We need to be able to get that living, breathing document to not be a document anymore, but rather an app or access. And so let's hop into the mobile space and tell us about that.
Yep. So again, looking at the overview page for the mobile app, again, the beautiful union logo at the top. But this is right when you log in. It gives you the breakdown of your net worth and a nice chart for you. And then if you were to scroll down just a little bit, you can go ahead and get a view of your accounts, just nice and summarized for you. And then you can drill down even deeper on those accounts as well. You can look at asset allocation, the returns, transactions, pretty much anything related with those accounts. So.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good quick walkthrough for some of the things that help advisors explain to a client why, as well as keep them on track with an engageable tool. What's your favorite part about the entire tool so far?
Favorite part of the tool has to be the what-ifs and the goal results, because it just gives you a good way to illustrate what may happen if you do this recommendation or if you don't implement the recommendation. Just gives you a lot of different scenarios you can illustrate to a client.
That's interesting. So my favorite is actually the mobile access. When we turned that on and started testing, I was surprised at how much information was there. I love that net worth is the front page, but I will tell you, much like when I used to work in a bank 30 years ago, I'd forget to go to the ATM, right? I mean, you're there all day, you're busy. I forget to look at my financial plan, for crying out loud, and this is what I do for a living. So the fact that we have the app now, I've looked at that numerous times, probably as many times as I've looked at my financial plan online over the last 6 months. I've looked at this in the last month. So that gets me psyched up when you finally get a tool that really lets you dig in and see. And again, trying to keep the clients engaged. That's how you get them to the end result of what they're looking for. So on that note, anything else that you wanted to relay in regards to the financial planning solution that we have available now in Union UMA?
Yeah, and also, I don't know if we touched on it, but within the mobile app, you could also see the document vault. Yeah. So anything that's in the document vault on the web version, you can also pull down anything within the vault on your mobile app. So same documents, just all from your phone or tablet. So
sweet. Well, this is awesome because this is something that's available for those in our Union UMA working directly with Potomac. These capabilities to be able to get your investments side by side with the plan. I just think it's just pretty neat stuff. So as we move forward, we always do something at the end of every Conquer Risk podcast. One is to say, make sure you click subscribe, click the ringy bell dingy thingy, and jump in there, right? We appreciate all the followers and subscribers, but just as important, we do recommendations. So this week, this particular podcast, one movie. That's all you get, bro. One movie. Pick it. What's it going to be? Favorite gig?
Single favorite movie was hard, but Goodfellas, start to finish, best movie I've ever seen. So that's my recommendation.
All right, that's a tough one, man. That's pretty serious stuff there. I'm going to go the other end of the spectrum. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I know we're in the middle of summer, but have to watch that every single year at least once. You got to make sure you watch it from the very beginning credits, because there's stuff in the intro, in the cartoon intro. It's not a cartoon movie. There's stuff in there that is worth watching. And it's pretty funny. And I giggle every time. It's just stupid humor. And well, frankly, I'm stupid and kind of humorous. So between those two, I love it. On that note, thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next run.
All right.